is amazing.
Yes, her and I call us spirit animals. We were twins on our spirit of politics. Many debates, and since she gets in my car, she always says, "You just see this on the news, you just see this on the news." So,
Thank God for you.
yes, we had great talk. But also, many times she had different political leaders come here, Tony McCombie, Andrew Chesney, and she advocated for seniors and wanted to have more money each month for you in your accounts and voiced her concerns to the politicians. So yesterday, my good friend is Tony McCombie, and she has that law, it's going to get passed, and they have to go meeting after Sara Lynn. So beginning July 1st, all people qualifying will have more money in your account that you get to keep. And that has been passed, and that has a lot to do with her. So,
Wow.
Sara Lynn, your voice did matter. And I'm going to start with I think that's exciting. Sara Lynn was a good person. I remember you. And as they were setting a line room, I went to her apartment and I said, I want this, this, and this. We love Auntie. But what she gave me most of life, her here, was monkey. And we all love monkey. Monkey is that hall. And you can't take monkey away. Not take it away. And then, if anybody ever looked at her, for the hot man, he's gotten older now. I will not grab you.
Do you know who that is? Yeah, that's her model.
Wasn't planning on speaking, but I guess I'm speaking. Hi, everybody. My name is Sharif. Sharif, nice to meet you. Lynn has spoken to me many times about some of you.
And if you don't believe it, go upstairs and look in the lobby upstairs. That is.
Thank you for coming, and thank you for creating this. I can tell you definitively that Lynn is very touched by your turn, by your affection. And I know from talking to her many times how she felt about you all. She loved living here. She loved talking with you guys, your debates, art competitions, and all the different things that you did. She told me about them all the time. So you were a big part of it. I met Lynn more than 30 years ago. I apologize. I'm not good at hiding my feelings. And Lynn was a huge part of my life. We were a lot of things to each other. We were best friends. Business partners. She was my mentor in art. She was like a mother to me. She was also a huge pain in my ass. and I was a huge pain in hers, but we never stopped loving each other and being there for each other. It was a beautiful friendship. And as sad as I am, I can't stop thinking about how lucky I was to have her, because she changed the course of my life, and she brought so much beauty to my life that otherwise wouldn't have been there. Lynn taught me how to see like an artist, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, you'll just have to take my word for it that is a gift that stays with you all the time, every day, every second of the day. It's a gift that I'll have for the rest of my life because of her. And she taught me by her example how one should be true to themselves. Lynn never once, in the 30 plus years that I knew her, did she ever once pretend to be something other than herself. Not one time. For anyone. And you know her as a sweet old lady. Which she was. Truly. Which she was. It was very generous and kind and sweet. And she didn't have hang-ups about people's sexuality or their color or their whatever their thing is, their intuitions. All those things were equal to her. So people were just beings. And she had no problems relating to people 30 years younger than her. Right? Like, whoever heard of best friends, a man and a woman 30 years apart. The only time people hear something like that is when it's sordid. But Lynn was a wholesome person, and more than that, she had integrity all the way through. All the way through, from dealing with a small child to dealing with the president of a publishing company. Lynn always told the truth. She always said it like it was. She always treated people with respect. And she never took advantage, even in situations where she easily could have. And she did very well. I don't know, I know Lynn talked to you about her art and her career as an illustrator, but I don't know, Lynn wasn't really one to brag about her accomplishments. But her artwork was seen all around the world. Her artwork was seen on talk shows, television shows. It was in magazines. It was bought by publishers, all the publishers in the 90s and the early 2000s. She worked for them, had a great reputation, solid gold. She was represented by one of the best art agents in the country. And she really, really went far with it. She could have gone farther, except she worked in romance. And romance, there isn't really the kind of following that there is in comics or science fiction or fantasy art. But that doesn't take anything away from what she accomplished. And she always stayed exactly the same person as she was in the beginning. When we were struggling to get our businesses started, compared to when she had all those successes, she never changed at all. She was always Lynn, the same exact person. And Lynn had a superpower, and I didn't, as long as we were friends, I never knew this until this last year, how spiritual of a person Lynn really was. Because her spirituality wasn't affected. It wasn't something that she read in a book and aspired to. It was something that came out of her naturally. Lynn's superpower was that when life went left and Lynn had her heart set on going right, you know what I'm talking about? Because we all live in this. This is one of those moments for a lot of us. We wish she was here, but life says no. So we have to deal with it. When life did that to Lynn, she could turn left immediately. I don't know how she did that, but she knew that resisting life causes suffering. And so she just didn't do it. She just trusted that things would be okay. And it drove me crazy. Absolutely crazy. What do you mean? I couldn't understand it. But as I got older, I understood that it was a spiritual practice for Lynn to do that. She did it on purpose from inside. I know that going forward, I'm going to do the same things I did for the last 30 years. Just try. Just try to be more like Lynn. Thank you very much to all of you for helping to make the last 12 years of her life as rewarding as they were. She loved her life here, and I'm grateful to all of you.
I think you should tell about the day that you met her. Show how bold she is.
That would be the tip of the iceberg for boldness stories of Lynn. Lynn once negotiated a $150,000 contract by herself with absolutely no previous experience. Could you imagine going in front of business people like that and successfully negotiating a $150,000 contract? I'm going to be rude, but my balls shriveled up just at the thought of that. Just at the thought of that. For Lynn, that was no problem. Lynn did things like that all the time. I mean, if Lynn had an idea, it never occurred to her her that she didn't know how to follow through and make it happen. That second part, that was my job in our business partnership, was figuring out how to make it happen. But her level of courage, you know, I've done a lot of things in my life aside from our business. I became a firefighter paramedic. I was a professional stuntman. I was a bare knuckle kickboxer. And in none of those things did I ever meet anyone who was braver than Lynn Sanders. That's a fact. The bravest person I know was Lynn. She had no fear at all. She could stand in front of a camera, knowing that she's going to be on television, wouldn't face her at all. She could switch gears, start a new business, sink a bunch of money into it, let it ride. No palpitations, not even a bead of sweat. Me? I'd have to drink myself to sleep. Yeah, I met her at Medieval Times when I worked there, and she was a professional photographer with a successful studio, but that wasn't enough for Lynn. Lynn had self-expression that needed to be released into the world. She needed to be an artist. And when I met her, she was on the cusp of that transition. She had her second divorce, or was about to have it, and taking pictures of seniors and brides was paying the bills, but it really wasn't doing it for her. She needed to be more artistic than that. And as far as her studio, she was in image competitions. Now these were national competitions, kind of a big deal. And so she wanted to do artwork that would be cutting edge in these competitions. And she had an idea for doing romantic style, like what you see out of romance book covers. And she met me at this Medieval Times. I had long hair at the time. And she walked right up to me, handed me her card, and said, "I want to take a picture. Give me a call and we'll set it up." And I was like, "What?" What's going on? Yeah, I thought maybe this was like weird, or I don't know. But I called her and it was. And I looked her up. She had a studio. Everything was legit. And I came there and she treated me like family. And so I came back a few more times for a few more shoots. And somewhere in there, a business opportunity came along where she had been creating backgrounds for photographers. And these are big paintings, 10 foot wide, 20 feet long. And she was doing them because as part of her photography business, she needed backgrounds, and she was an artist, so why was she going to buy them from somebody else? She did them herself. And other photographers saw them and wanted them. Well, she got offered a big contract, but she couldn't do the work by herself, and she knew that I had an artistic streak, and she said, "Would you like to do this with me? Otherwise, I'm not going to accept the contract." I just hanging up on myself. I said, "How much does it pay?" She told me, and I said, "Oh, hell yeah." And that was the start of the friendship. Lynn mentored me in the ways of illustration and photography, and taught me what good art is, what bad art is. I mean, that's all subjective. She would be the first to say it. But from the point of view of a publisher, there's a definite answer to that. And she was one of the best. I mean, in her field, she won all kinds of awards. She had certifications for being an artist, for being a photographer. So she really knew her, you know what. And I just watched her explode at 50-some years old. This woman, when I say she was fearless, how many of you could have reinvented yourselves so ferociously in your mid-50s? I'm in my mid-50s now, right? And all I want to do is just mow the lawn and stay at home. I don't golf, but if I did, I probably just want to golf. That's not the game Lynn was playing. Lynn's game was, I'm going to become a successful illustrator. I'm going to live my dream. And she did not stop. I got swept up in her dream, and I'm so glad that I did. Because like I said, when I first started talking to you, it changed the course of my life. We met famous artists. We photographed some of the most beautiful people, men and women in the world. We met best-selling authors and became friends with them and had all those adventures. We traveled all over the country one year. We did 18 trade shows in 1 year. She was probably 58 years old. Can you imagine that energy? I was wrung out. I was so tired. And she'd be like, "Get up, let's go." What was this movie? That really was Lynn. She was incredible that way. And the sad part is there'll never be another Lynn Sanders. I think you all agree with me there. But let's not leave it on that sad note. Let's just take a second to appreciate how incredibly lucky we all were to have the intersection of our lives in Lynn Sanders happened.
Yes.
All of us share that. And it's a beautiful thing. So in some ways we won the lottery.
Yes.
Thank you again on her behalf. I know she would say I love you all. Take care.